Chapter 1. The Shattering. Isla's hands trembled as she adjusted the tray of champagne flutes. The crystal clinked against silver as she pushed open the ballroom door. Inside, the city's elite shimmered under chandeliers, men in sharp tuxedos, women dripping in diamonds, laughter echoing like chimes in a cold wind. She didn't belong here. But Bills didn't care about belonging. "Don't spill anything," hissed her supervisor, a tight-lipped woman with hawk eyes and a hatred for mistakes. "One drop, and you're out." Isla nodded, swallowing pride. She moved through the crowd, her beige uniform a stain in the sea of elegance. Then the music dropped. "Everyone, your attention, please," boomed the event host from the stage. "We're honored to have Mr. Leon Vale, CEO of Vale Industries, with us tonight." A shift in the room's energy. Phones lifted. Heads turned. Isla turned too, then froze. Leon Vale entered like a storm in a suit. Black-on-black tuxedo, hair slicked back, face carved from frost and shadow. Tall. Lethal. The kind of man who made people whisper louder when he said nothing at all. His gaze swept the room and landed on her. Her stomach clenched. Not in fear. In something worse, awareness. But then the moment shattered. A scream sliced through the music. "My watch." A woman gasped dramatically. "My diamond watch is gone." Gasps. Murmurs. The music stopped. Security rushed in. "I left it on my table," the woman wailed. "It's worth more than a car. Someone took it." The hostess turned to her staff. "Lock the doors." Isla's chest tightened. She backed away, but the security guards were already moving. "Everyone stay where you are," one barked. "We're checking the servers first." Isla clutched the tray as the guard approached her. "You. Empty your pockets." "What?" Her voice cracked. "I haven't even gone near that table. You're on the list of servers in that section. Empty them." Heat crawled up her neck. Dozens of eyes bored into her. The woman whose watch was missing pointed a manicured finger. "It's her. I saw her lingering by my table." Isla stared at her, stunned. I didn't even." "Do it," said the supervisor coldly. Her hands shook as she turned out her pockets. Napkin. Lip balm. Room key. Then a glint. The watch. Silence fell like a guillotine. Isla's mouth opened, but no sound came. Her heart slammed against her ribs. "That's not. How did that get there?" "You little thief," the guest snapped. "Trying to crawl your way out of poverty, huh?" "I didn't." Isla's voice cracked, eyes searching the room for anyone, not looking at her like scum. Her gaze landed on him. Leon Vale. Still watching. Silent. Eyes unreadable. Arms folded. Her body screamed to run, but her pride kept her rooted. "I didn't take it," she whispered. The host motioned to the guards. "Escort her out." That did it. Isla stepped back, then forward. "No." The guard froze. "I said no," she said louder. "I didn't take that watch." "Someone planted it." Laughter erupted from the guest. "Oh, please. I want the security footage. Pull it from the East Wing hallway. I crossed that corridor twice tonight. If anyone put that in my pocket, it'll show." The room buzzed. Leon shifted slightly. His gaze narrowed, not cold now, but curious. The host waved over the event manager, who whispered something after checking the device. Then she turned pale. "She's right. The footage shows another server brushing past her." "Look." The projection lit up. Clear as daylight, one of the servers subtly slipped the watch into Isla's coat pocket as she passed. Isla closed her eyes in relief, then opened them, spine straightening like steel. "Do I get an apology?" she said quietly. No one spoke. Until Leon did. "Bring her to my office." His voice wasn't loud, but it cut through the silence like a blade. Gasps. The same woman who'd accused Isla now looked like she'd swallowed glass. Isla met his eyes as he turned and walked away without waiting for her. She didn't know why her legs followed, but they did. And in that moment, her fate, whatever strange, twisted thing it was, shifted forever. Cliffhanger asterisk. She walks down the silent hallway, heels echoing, toward the man who just summoned her from ruin. And behind his locked office door, A truth darker than betrayal awaits. Let me know when you're ready for Chapter 2, F, or 1A visual image prompt, F, of this dramatic scene. The heavy office door shut behind her with a soft, sinister click. Isla stood still, her heart pounding as if it were trying to escape her chest. The room was drenched in shadows and silence. Floor-to-ceiling windows behind the massive mahogany desk revealed a skyline half swallowed by fog, like a city waiting for a storm. And Leon Vale was the storm. He stood by the window, his back to her, hands folded behind him, perfectly still, as if carved from obsidian. "Sit," he said without turning. It wasn't a suggestion. Isla didn't move. Her legs didn't trust him, or her, or the tremor building in her spine. "I'd rather stand," she replied. He turned then slowly, his face unreadable, the sharp planes of his jaw and cheekbones catching the ambient light. His eyes were darker than she remembered from downstairs. Not just with shadow, with something more primal. "Brave," he murmured. "You just walked out of a room where half the city's elite watched you nearly get dragged out in cuffs, and now you're challenging me?" "I didn't steal anything," she said, voice steady. "And I didn't ask to be dragged into your circus of lies and scandals." A muscle twitched in his jaw. Good, she thought. Let him feel it too. Leon moved behind his desk and sat with unsettling grace, leaning forward to rest his forearms on the polished surface. "I watched you downstairs," he said. She crossed her arms. "Yes, I noticed. Like a statue. Or a predator." He didn't flinch. "You could have broken. You didn't. And you didn't just protect yourself. You forced them to face what they didn't expect from you: intelligence, control, courage." Something flickered in his voice, almost admiration. But Isla didn't care. "I'm not here to impress you." "No. But you've impressed someone far more important." She blinked. "Who?" Leon rose and pressed a button on the wall behind him. A side door opened, and a little boy, no older than 4, stepped inside in a miniature black suit. Isla's breath caught. He was pale, delicate-featured, but his eyes, those deep gray eyes, were unmistakably Leon's. The boy walked straight up to Isla, tugged gently at the sleeve of her uniform, and said, "You didn't look scared." "I liked that." Isla knelt instinctively, her heart stumbling over itself. "Hi," she whispered. "What's your name?" "Kale." Leon's voice again. "My son." Kale looked at his father. "Can she stay, Baba?" Leon didn't answer right away, just watched Isla with an unreadable intensity. Then, "I need someone to care for him. He doesn't speak to strangers." "Until you." Isla blinked. "Wait, what?" "I'm not a nanny." "No," Leon said, eyes narrowing. "But you're something rare. You faced a room that tried to devour you and didn't flinch. My son needs someone like that." "I don't want her charity." "It's not charity. It's a job." "Why me?" "Because Kale has instincts like mine," Leon said. "And he trusts you. That doesn't happen often. Or by accident." Isla's breath hitched. Her world had spun so fast in the last hour she could barely track its shape anymore. "You want me to live with you?" Leon didn't blink. "Yes." A storm roared in her chest. "I should be running the opposite direction right now." "You should." "Then why am I not?" He leaned in, eyes glowing with something dangerous. "Because a part of you wants to see what I am. What this is." For a second, just a breath, he looked less human and more beast. And not the kind you run from. The kind that pulls you closer even as your heart screams no. "I'll think about it," she said tightly, rising. Leon nodded once. "You have until tomorrow. Noon." Kale tugged at her hand. "Will you come back?" She looked into the boy's stormy eyes and smiled, even though her head was still spinning. "I think I will." She walked out of the room, pulse in her ears. She didn't know yet that saying yes would change everything. The black town car glided through the city, like a predator stalking prey, silent, sleek, deliberate. Isla sat stiffly in the back seat, hands folded tightly in her lap, trying not to fidget. Her cheap cotton shirt felt like paper against the leather seats. Across from her, Leon Vale said nothing. As usual, His gaze was fixed out the tinted window, jaw tight, temple ticking with a quiet tension. The only sound between them was the low hum of tires against asphalt and the occasional voice of the driver through the intercom. She hated the silence. It let her hear everything else, her thudding heartbeat, the echo of Cale's small voice asking if she'd come back, and the sharp snap of her own sanity breaking down. "This is insane," she muttered, mostly to herself. Leon turned slightly. "You could have said no." "I should have. But you didn't." Her eyes flicked toward him, annoyance flaring. "Don't act like that surprises you. You orchestrated this like a chess game. I gave you a choice. You walked into it. You dragged me into it. You impressed me. I'm not here to impress you." His lips twitched. Almost a smile. Almost. She hated that it looked good on him. The car turned off the main road and up a steep, winding drive flanked by black iron gates and motion-triggered floodlights. The Vale estate loomed ahead like something out of a Gothic painting, glass, stone, and steel rising against a night sky heavy with rain clouds. As the car rolled to a stop, Leon finally broke the silence. "There are rules." "Of course there are. Don't go into the West Wing. Don't ask questions about what I do after midnight. And never, ever, let Cale out of your sight when the moon is full." Her stomach dropped. "I'm sorry, what?" He didn't answer. Just opened his door and stepped out, the faint drizzle catching in his hair like silver threads. Isla followed slowly, boots crunching on gravel. Inside, the mansion was stunning, cold, silent, and disturbingly pristine. No photos. No family mementos. Just expensive emptiness. Cale ran to her from the grand staircase, hugging her around the legs like she was the sun. "You came back." Something in her chest cracked. She knelt to hold him. "Yeah, I did." He pulled back, smiling. "You smell like wind." Leon, standing above them, watched the exchange with a look she couldn't read. "Come," he said softly. "Dinner's waiting." They ate at a long table fit for royalty, with 3 people spaced out across it like strangers. Isla barely touched her food. She felt his gaze burning through her from the far end. She finally set her fork down. "Can I ask something now?" Leon's knife paused mid-cut. "That depends. Why did Cale choose me? Out of everyone." Leon met her eyes. "He's not like other children. He senses things." "Things." He leaned forward slightly, voice lower.
"Truth. Pain. Rage.
Loneliness." Isla's breath caught. "So, what? He saw himself in me?"
No."
"He saw something else." "What?" "You'll find out." Isla stood abruptly, her chair scraping back. "I don't like riddles. I don't offer explanations to people I don't trust. Then why invite me into your home?" Leon's gaze burned. "Because part of me already does." The silence stretched again, this time electric. "I need air," she muttered, walking out before she could say something she'd regret. She stepped onto the balcony, overlooking the forest behind the mansion. The night air was thick with mist and pine. Cold, beautiful, eerie. She didn't realize she wasn't alone until she heard footsteps behind her. "I told you not to wander." She spun to find Leon there, hands in his pockets, eyes glowing faintly in the dark. "I'm on the balcony, not the West Wing." His mouth curved. "Still breaking rules." "I have a habit of that." A beat passed. He moved closer, just enough for her to smell his cologne, something expensive and earthy, like cedar and something wild. "You're not afraid of me," he said quietly. She looked up at him. "Should I be?" Another pause. His voice dropped to a near whisper. "Yes." She didn't flinch. He stepped back then, jaw clenched. "You should get some sleep. The full moon is in 2 days. You'll need your strength." "For what?" But he was already gone, swallowed by the dark hallway. She turned to the forest again, but her heart wasn't calm. Because deep in the trees, she swore she saw eyes, watching. And they weren't his. Isla didn't sleep. She lay in the guest wing's sprawling bed, far too soft, far too large, staring at the ceiling as moonlight bled through the floor-to-ceiling windows. The mansion groaned around her, the kind of sound that had weight.
Age.
Memory. Something was wrong here. Not just with Leon Vale and his unsettling silences, or Cale's uncanny instincts, or the locked West Wing that pulsed like a secret waiting to be found. It was in the air, in the shadows, in her bones. And tomorrow was the full moon. At breakfast, the house was quiet. Too quiet. No staff. No Cale. No Leon. Only a note on the table, written in clean, sharp script. Stay inside. Do not open the west doors. Do not follow the howls. She stared at the paper. Follow the howls? She crumpled it. By noon, she was pacing. By dusk, she was sweating. By midnight, the house screamed. Not with voices. With sound, deep, guttural, vibrating through stone and soul. A howl ripped through the forest like a warning from another world. Isla ran to the window. The trees behind the mansion swayed violently. The forest seemed to shudder. And something fast, something huge, moved between the trunks. Then another howl, closer.
And a scream.
Not a beast's.
Cale.
Isla didn't think. She moved. She tore through the east corridor, barefoot, heart hammering in her throat. She turned a corner and collided hard into Leon. He caught her by the waist, his grip too strong, too sudden. His skin burned. His breathing was ragged. His eyes golden, glowing. He was shirtless, his body marked with jagged scars that shimmered like silver beneath his skin. "What are you doing out here?" he growled, voice deeper, rougher. Not fully human. "Cale," she breathed. I heard him scream. "He's safe. In the cellar. Guarded." "Then what's out there?" Leon didn't answer. His jaw clenched so tight she thought he'd break his teeth. "Tell me," she snapped, pulling away.
Now.
His eyes flared. "You want truth?" "Yes." "You want all of it?" "Yes, damn it." His chest rose and fell like a beast caged inside him. Then, slowly, with the kind of stillness that terrifies more than rage, he stepped into the moonlight. And shifted. Bones cracked. Clothes tore. Flesh rippled like liquid under fire. And then, where Leon had stood, was a wolf. But not just a wolf.
An alpha.
Twice her height. Black as the void. Eyes still glowing gold. Breathing hard, steam rising from his mouth like smoke. Isla stumbled back, heart frozen. The wolf didn't move. Just stood there, watching her. And then, he bowed his head. She couldn't breathe. The air thickened with understanding. Horror.
Awe.
He changed again, back into human form, slower this time. He collapsed to his knees, naked, vulnerable, aching. And then his voice, barely human, spoke. "I didn't choose this." Isla stood shaking, tears prickling her eyes. "You're a werewolf." "Yes." "And Cale?" "He's mine. Half human, half alpha. And someone out there," he looked to the forest, jaw tightening, "wants him dead before he reaches maturity." Her throat tightened. "Why?" "Because if he survives, he becomes stronger than any bloodline alive. Including mine." He met her gaze, voice breaking. "And now that you're here, they'll come for you too." Isla dropped to her knees, trembling. "What have you pulled me into?" Leon's hand reached toward hers. "I didn't mean to," he whispered. "But I think I need you more than I ever realized." She looked down and saw blood on his fingers. He'd been fighting, and he was losing. Rain fell like shattered glass. The mansion's great hall was dim, lit only by flickering firelight. Shadows danced on the cold marble, and Isla stood at the center, soaked, silent, trembling, not from the storm, but from what she'd just witnessed.
Leon.
His transformation. The raw power. The pain in his voice. And the confession that someone was hunting them. Her.
Cale.
Their child. She didn't even know how to process it. Except deep in her body, something had already begun to shift. Nausea had crept into her mornings. Her scent had changed. Leon had noticed it first. She dismissed it as stress. But now, She pressed a hand over her abdomen. A slow horror bloomed in her chest. Leon emerged from the hallway, shirtless, bruised, and bloodied. Not from her, but from whatever fight he'd barely escaped. His chest was heaving, hair damp with rain, his golden eyes dulled with exhaustion. He looked like a man torn in two, beast and protector, alpha and father. "You shouldn't be here," he said, voice low, raw. Isla stepped toward him anyway. "You said I was already part of it. That I'm in danger just by being near you." He didn't answer. "Leon," she whispered. "What's coming?" He looked up slowly, and for once he looked afraid.
"They know," he said.
"They've smelled the shift." "Your shift." Her throat closed. "You mean?" "You're carrying my child," he said simply. And in that moment, her entire body seemed to fall inward.
Shock.
Fear. Wonder. A strange warmth, already growing. "You didn't mark me," she whispered. "You didn't claim me the way they say your kind does." "I didn't need to," he said, eyes burning. "The bond formed anyway.
When you chose to stay.
When Kale chose you." Isla stumbled back a step. "This is insane. I was just a girl working a banquet 2 nights ago. And now you're carrying the future Alpha," he said bitterly, pacing. "Do you understand what that means, Isla? They'll come in numbers. They'll come for blood. I didn't ask for any of this. But you have it now." Her hand trembled at her stomach. "And what if I don't want it?" Silence. Dead, aching silence. Leon froze. Then he walked to her, slow, careful, as if approaching a wounded animal. His voice dropped. "Do you think I would blame you? After what this world has already done to you?" Tears burned at the edges of her eyes. "I don't even know what I'm becoming." Leon lifted his hand, gently cupping her cheek. "Not something new. Just more of what you already are.
Strong.
Unbreakable." Isla's breath caught. And then he kissed her. Soft, sudden, soul-deep. Not a kiss of passion. A kiss of desperation. A promise. A plea. She kissed him back, not because she understood, but because something inside her already belonged. When they broke apart, their foreheads rested together, breaths tangled. "I will protect you," he murmured. "I swear it." "I don't want to be protected," she whispered back. "I want to fight." He smiled, a flicker of pride in his eyes.
But it was short-lived.
A loud crack echoed through the forest. Not thunder. A gunshot. Leon stiffened. Then another crack. And a scream, human, not wolf. Isla turned to run, but Leon caught her wrist. "No," he said sharply. "You stay here. Guard Kale." "Leon." His eyes flared bright gold. "I can't lose you both."
He ran.
Faster than human. Vanishing into the storm. Isla stood frozen, the weight of their unborn child grounding her to the marble floor. Then she heard it. A voice, cold, feminine, echoing through the hall like a whisper in her ear. "You think you've stolen our Alpha, girl? He was never yours to claim." She spun around, no one there. Only shadows. But she knew what it meant. They weren't just after Leon. They were after her. Rain lashed against the glass like knives as Isla ran. Her bare feet slapped the cold marble, breath slicing through her lungs like glass. She didn't stop to think.
There was no time.
Only the sound of the wind howling through the mansion and the shattering silence from Kale's room. "Please let him be okay. Please, please." She burst through the door. Empty. The little bed was tossed, the curtains torn. The window yawned open, letting in wind and the smell of blood and pine. And on the wooden floor, etched deep and raw, was a jagged claw mark. "No," Isla choked out, stumbling to her knees. Her hand hovered over the gouge as tears welled hot and fast in her eyes. They had him. They took Kale. Suddenly, she wasn't just afraid. She was furious. From behind her, the voice returned. The one that had whispered threats through shadows. "You never should have come here." Isla spun. A woman stepped out of the darkness, tall, raven-haired, eyes glowing a burning red. She wore black like a second skin, and her smile dripped venom. "Who are you?" Isla whispered. The woman tilted her head. I'm the one who was promised the alpha. Before you ruined everything. Isla's breath hitched. You mean Leon? I mean the throne, girl. She stepped closer. You think because you carry his child you're untouchable? Do you even understand what's inside you? What your blood's becoming? Isla rose slowly, fists trembling. I don't care who you are. I want Cale back. The woman sneered. You're not even marked. You're nothing. Isla took a step forward. Then why are you here? Why not take him and leave? Silence. That flicker of hesitation. You feel the shift, don't you? Isla whispered. Even you can smell it. Whatever's in me, it scares you. The woman's eyes flashed, but Isla didn't back down. Then a roar tore through the forest. Deep, animal, furious.
Leon.
The woman turned toward the window, face twisting.
He's coming.
But he won't make it in time. And in a blur, she launched at Isla. Isla ducked, instincts flaring alive inside her like fire. She grabbed the bedside lamp and swung. Glass exploded as it connected with the woman's shoulder. She staggered back with a snarl. Isla ran. Down the stairs. Through the halls. Toward the underground shelter Leon had shown her once. The storm outside was alive, crackling, vibrating with the pulse of war. She burst into the wine cellar, yanked open the hidden hatch under the floor, and climbed down the stone tunnel. Cale, she called, heartbreaking. Cale, baby, can you hear me? Silence. Then a small sound. A whimper. She ran toward it, following the curve of the tunnel, and found him curled in a corner, arms over his head, eyes wide with fear. Mommy, he whispered. The word knocked the breath from her lungs. She dropped to her knees and pulled him into her arms. I've got you, she breathed, crying into his hair. I've got you. He shook. She said she was going to take me away. Not while I'm breathing. A low growl vibrated through the tunnel. Isla stood and turned. The woman was back, blood on her shoulder, eyes glowing like fire. I'm going to gut you, she hissed. Isla stepped in front of Cale, trembling, shielding him with her body. Then, Leon landed, like a storm breaking the sky. He tore into the corridor in wolf form, for slick with rain, teeth bared. The woman shifted too, into something leaner, crueler, all fang and fury. They clashed in a blur of claws and snarls. Isla shielded Cale as the walls shook, stone crumbling, blood splattering the floor. Finally, with a howl that split the earth, Leon sank his teeth into the she-wolf's throat. She collapsed.
Dead.
Silence. Leon turned back, panting, bleeding, and shifted back, falling to his knees. He looked at Isla. You're safe? She nodded, crying, still holding Cale. We're safe. Leon crawled to them, his body battered, and pulled both of them into his arms. I thought I lost you, he whispered, pressing his forehead to hers. I would have burned the world down. Isla touched his cheek, her voice shaking. Then let's build a new one instead. Final emotional beat. Resolution. Later, in the quiet aftermath, Leon stood with his arm around Isla as Cale slept between them. Outside, the full moon faded into dawn, and Isla whispered, Whatever's coming next, I won't run. Leon smiled softly. No, you'll rule.